and it's a little delayed. So, what?
Nope. Don't. Yeah. No.
All right.
Now, what did you do? You moved them. Whatever.
All right, so we're live, and we are Brad and Christina Solomon, and we're known across social media as Pause and Effect. We focus on full-time travel in an RV, along with pets, traveling with pets, and then also doing things that are positive, changing the environment, cleaning up the environment, doing things that affect people, or also pets, rescue ambassadors for pets as well.
Mm-hmm.
So hello, Mark. How's it going, Mark? How's it going, Aaron?
Hey, Mark.
Can everybody hear us okay? Give us a thumbs up if you can hear us. Since our first chat, I want to make sure that we're not just talking with no audio. Awesome. So this is our first live chat. We're going to have a giveaway as well, and we'll explain the giveaway in just a minute. Thanks for joining. And we're going to be talking about a very popular topic across social media, especially in the full-time RV travel Facebook pages and so on and so forth. The people ask what can or what should they do with their home, and many people sell their home. And we'll talk about what we did and what we considered when we were faced with that question, basically about 18 months ago, right around this time, 18 months ago, or no, actually, yeah. Mm-hmm. Around March, April of 2018.
Yes.
Yeah. And if you have any questions, feel free to.
Yes.
Yeah, we know about the light pollution, so we tried to. We actually had it set up before we came on with some angles here. Yeah. I'm gonna go turn that one off.
Oh, great.
That's better.
Oh, I got the one.
Set that one back there. You just need to put your head in front of those lights.
I'm trying. My head is not as big as yours.
Better. There we go. Mark says better. Aaron says better.
I'll stay right like this.
We're good. All right. So, as I said, the topic is around Airbnb and Vrbo, what to do your house, what to do with your house. We faced that question really around 18 months ago. And so we've got quite a bit of experience, and it's kind of a funny story how it all happened. Before we do that, we'll talk about the giveaway. So we have a 20-foot heated hose for your RV. You could use it for anything. We used it. It is like new. We used it for basically 2 days last year because we chose not to leave until
Colorado.
No, actually it wasn't Colorado.
Yes, it was.
No, it was in Eureka. No, it was in Eureka.
No, it wasn't.
We used it in Eureka. We didn't use it there.
Okay.
Maybe she's right. We should have used it in Eureka. Anyway, we used it for a couple of days, either right before we left in Eureka because we had that cold dip last November.
Colorado.
But probably Colorado. But it's been used a couple of days. It works great. It keeps your water connection warmed up and not freezing. And now that we have a motorhome with heated tanks, we no longer need it. And we also don't plan to be in below freezing weather in the RV anymore. So we're going to pay to ship that out to the winning person in the giveaway. If you don't need the heated water hose and you win the giveaway, you have an option to just select a $25 Amazon gift card as well. And then we will donate the hose or do something else with the hose at a later time. So you might be wondering, if we're full-time travel, why are we at our house? So when this all happened, we talked about selling the house or not. And there were quite a few reasons why we did. But really the main reason we're back at the house right now is one of the reasons we chose not to sell it was specifically to celebrate Thanksgiving every year, because we had kind of created a tradition in this house, a family tradition where Chris's dad, Charlie, came into town and our kids would come from the different states that they live in. And that would really be the one time a year that our entire close family from Chris's side and my side, my parents would be here celebrating Thanksgiving. So we're pretty excited to be back at home and taking care of some small improvements and repairs and things like that with the house, which is it's been kind of refreshing to be here. We've been here for about 3 weeks now, or 2 weeks.
Has it been 3 already? I'm not sure.
But before we got back this time, which was right at the end of October, we got in the house November 2nd. So it's been 3 weeks, just at 3 weeks. We had only been in the house this year for less than a total of 3 weeks. The rest of the year, it has been booked by short-term rentals. So that's why we're here. And let's talk about how we basically fell into this, if you will. I lost my job, or decided that I was frustrated with corporate America. Actually, Mark Hendrickson, who's in here, and I have worked together quite a few times. And software sales has its ups and its downs, and corporate America, especially in software sales, there's pros and cons. And I just kind of grew tired of the cons and the bureaucracy and the politics and all that. So we talked about early retirement, just traveling, and we really weren't financially ready, so we needed to have another revenue stream. And we talked about, what do you think about Airbnb? I'd heard about it for a while, but I never really considered it. I said, why don't you check into it, Chris? And she checked into it and actually kind of ran with it fairly quickly. She had pictures taken and told me, really, there's not much you have to do to get your home on Airbnb. If you get a entry punch pad on your door, then you don't really need to have anybody to hand off a key, because they can come in. So it's really relatively easy, and we'll talk more about what we did there. But we see a few more new people: Blue Wave Odyssey and Cat Roxy. Hello, guys. Thank you for coming on. We're just now basically starting and talking about how we got involved.
Asking what Airbnb is.
Airbnb and Vrbo, they're two websites that you can basically list your house. So you can list your house, or you could list a room of your house. Even while you're there, you can have guests stay in your house with you while you're there, kind of like a bed and breakfast. That's what Airbnb stands for. And so you basically go to a website. It's similar to, I guess, if you're familiar with Uber for ride sharing, it's basically house sharing. It's an application that you go on the web or on your phone, and you put in a profile, and you can list your house for what price. You can list it for what dates. And basically people will then book your home like they would book a hotel, and they could come and stay in your home. If you're there, did we stay at one time? We stayed at a duplex. We actually were.
The one here?
Yeah.
In St. Louis? Yeah, she lived.
Just a couple blocks away.
No, she lived right next door. It was adjacent.
No, I mean, we lived just a couple blocks away from where she was. And we had to stay somewhere because our house got rented when we were going to be back here. So we stayed just a couple blocks away at this duplex, and she lived at the very next door. So, and she had it set up where nice food and all that kind of stuff. But it's so it's basically like a hotel. You would rent a hotel. You go on and you pick your dates, and you pay online. And we'll talk a little bit more about that process in a moment. But that's basically what Airbnb and Vrbo are. Similar to a timeshare, yeah. But basically it's more probably related to just a hotel, right? So if you don't have any commitments to having to book or anything like that, you just if you decide to go to a city and you want maybe multiple bedrooms or more privacy, Airbnb is usually the same price or less than your hotels that would be rentable. All right, so let's see here. So let's talk about finish up the story around how we kind of stumbled into this. So she looked into it, and we had a few weeks where we had to get a few things done because we chose to put some bolt locks on our upstairs to lock out our bedroom and another office that's up there. And then we have 2 bedrooms on the main floor. And then we also locked out our garage because we have, anything that we wanted to store in there, keepsakes, tools, or now we have motorcycles in there. And we locked out one closet down here on this main floor and the closets downstairs for other keepsakes, music
storage.
stuff. Yeah.
Storage downstairs.
So we put about 4 or 5 bolt locks in. We put the key code on the front door. She took pictures and all of that. And we went ahead and listed it. And how long after we listed it did you get the first ding that we got a booking?
Wasn't it just within hours?
Yeah. I think it was just 1 hour. We got the first one, and over the next week, we basically
it felt pretty constant.
We were getting constant
it was
ding, ding, ding messages saying that it had been booked, and we listed it. We looked at other properties in the area, and we basically listed ours at the same price as the highest one because we just finished a remodel of our main floor, and this floor plan is different than anything that
remodel.
Oh yeah, there you go. A remodel. That's the kitchen part. So we did this whole floor, the main floor. We pretty much redid the whole thing, especially the bath and the kitchen. And so we listed it at the equal to the highest price of the house that was nearby, the highest house nearby, and it just started renting. So much so that we listed it at the end of March, and it pretty much filled up April, May, June, July, almost instantly. So we realized we had to basically be full-time RVers fairly quickly, but we couldn't travel. We owned a coffee shop just a couple blocks away, so we found a RV park about 15 minutes away near downtown St. Louis. And Chris came back and ran the coffee shop, and she also ran all the management with this place. And we immediately started making around $3,500 a month on short-term rentals, which is about 3 times our payment at that time. It was pretty exciting, but also kind of scary because we moved into this new chapter kind of by mistake or just kind of by stumbling upon it. But we knew at that point that we had the revenue stream to kind of support us in early retirement. And so that's kind of how we stumbled into Airbnb and Vrbo, and it's also how we stumbled into actual full-time RV living. We weren't traveling yet, though. So why did we? What were some of the reasons we didn't decide to sell the house and use that money to fund the full-time travel in our retirement? Well, one reason is that money would run out. When you sell it, you get that and it's gone. So one of the things for me is I saw long-term rental properties always felt would be a possible good investment for us. So we talked very briefly about long-term rental, but we both agreed that was a no. There's lots of horror stories around both sides, but we just felt like if you don't get in your house for a year to look at it, a lot of damage can be done, and it takes a while to evict people and all of that type of stuff. There's no protection by backing you, whereas with Airbnb and Vrbo there are. We've never had to use it, but they will pay you back if you or you can file a claim if somebody damages something or steals something. So that was a benefit there. So another reason we didn't sell the house was we just finished the remodel. So we really, we've moved a lot. We've moved a lot in our time together because of my career, and we moved from state to state. We moved house to house. This house is the longest house we've been in, and we've been here 5 years. So this is the longest house that both of us have been in since we were 18 years old. So 5 years is not that long to be in a house. And at the point we listed it, we were only here 3.5 years. So that's another reason. Another reason is if you sell your home, where do you put your keepsakes and your belongings and stuff like that? So it automatically gave us a way to store things in the, Mark's embarrassing.
He is.
It gave us a way to store things and keep some keepsakes by locking them out, like I mentioned before. And another one was just, we do have family in the area, and we've got my parents, my brother, 2 of our kids that live not too far away within the St. Louis area. And then we also have other children, grandkids, and my sister who lives within a few hours, and then a couple of our kids live a little farther away. But this is kind of a central location for us to come back to. Oh, and then the other one was, we didn't know whether we'd necessarily like it.
Like it, yes.
Yeah, and so we're sort of full time, but we'll always be back in St. Louis at certain times of the year. So I would suspect we'll probably spend 2 to 3 months here total throughout the years, and try to be somewhere warm in the winter and somewhere cooler in the hottest months of the summer. So for this year, we're going to be here through the week before Christmas, and then we're going to head to Florida so we can ride those motorcycles a bit. All right, so let me look where we're at. So what are the benefits of keeping the house? I just covered, I think, most of those and the reasons why we decided to VRBO. Is there any other reasons you think that I missed?
Other benefits?
Yeah.
No, I think you pretty much covered them.
Have we caught up on all the questions here? I think so. All right, so if you have questions, feel free to ask them, and we will answer them to the best of our abilities. We're not necessarily experts on the subject, but we do have about 18 months of experience now that we're happy to share with you, and also open for suggestions as well. So let's talk about the process of getting your home on Airbnb and VRBO. And I've been doing all the talking. It was kind of my suggestion to look at this, but I've pretty much done nothing. She takes care of everything. So what if somebody was
kind
interested?
of explained what the process is. It was really easy. Just going out and filling out a profile on either of the websites, Airbnb or VRBO. Filling out the information for your house, and gosh, that was it. I mean, other than there was some little things that we wanted to do, like, fix the backyard up a little bit more. But as far as letting somebody in, just putting in the way for them to have access into the house. And that was it. I mean,
You set the price,
yeah, the price, the date.
open up the dates. You attach your bank account.
Yes.
Attach your bank account.
Yeah.
Have it arranged for the code to get in and out the door. If you're in the area and you're going to be in the area, then you can manage the maintenance and the cleanup and between renters and stuff like that, right?
Right.
And we're going to talk about the whole ongoing.
Blue Wave Odyssey wants to know if we can trade off with other Airbnb members, like house for house rentals. To be honest, I'm not really sure.
I know they could probably. Well, of course, you could go rent and pay them, and then you can rent it, but that's not really trading it off because you're both kind of paying for the houses. But if is there a way you can connect with other owners on there? I think what you would have to do, you can communicate with people. So if we saw a house, say an hour away, that we want to connect to, we could message that person and say, hey, we're going to be coming to your area on this date. Are you by chance going to be in St. Louis at any time? Because we would like to exchange dates with you, right?
Right.
So I guess potentially you could do that and do it kind of off the record, where you could just block the house out that time and then exchange dates. But I don't think there's a formal way to do that. As far as the meetup, actually, we've been talking about a meetup. You're in Poplar Bluff, you're close, but we were talking about a meetup in Maui when we go back to Hawaii. So
yeah.
But yeah, we would love to next year participate in more RV rallies and meetups and things like that to start meeting people face to face that have.
Thanks for stopping in, Kat.
Yeah, so we would love to do that. And you guys are in Poplar Bluff. One of the things that I want to do when we're back next spring is go down to Iron County. I think it's Iron County, where Elephant Rocks and Johnson's Shut-ins and some of the most beautiful parts of Missouri are. And I think that Poplar Bluff is right on the way out there. So we would love to connect with you. Where are you guys, Aaron? Are you guys traveling? Are you guys home most of the time? how often are you in the Poplar Bluff area? How often do you travel up to the St. Louis area? Blue Wave Odysseys from Naples, Florida. We're going to be in about an hour outside of Tampa from the end of December through March. So that'll be great. Hey, RV Underway, how are you? Work camping. We've talked about that. We considered, we're probably going to look into that as well.
On the West Coast.
On the West Coast. So I mentioned that I left work and we actually went into this RV life. I was pretty much retired, doing some freelancing, and I had a colleague of mine call me up and tell me
in Tampa for the RV show that we were going to go to and buy an RV.
Yeah, we were supposed to buy our motorhome in Tampa at that show, but we couldn't wait, so we got our Harleys and our motorhome already. What else? Oh yeah, so I ended up going back to work. So I work full time now on the road from wherever I want to be, and that's that. So I lost my train of thought. What was I talking about?
I don't know. What's the next question?
What's the next question? All right. So we talked about the process for getting your home on there. What's the ongoing process? So we started getting rentals. We were here. It was easier because you could clean it and maintain it. But one of the things you found out right away was if you're going to be on both of the websites, which is somewhat recommended because then you're doubling your chances for rental. And we have had rentals from both sides, quite a bit.
Well, it's kind of funny because the first year it was
Airbnb,
90%, I'd say Airbnb. This year was probably 90% VRBO.
And we're not sure of the exact reasons. I know Airbnb originally didn't take out as many taxes as they do now. That could be one. The other one could be, we'll talk about that superhost thing. There's a designation called a superhost. Yes. And she'll tell the story about when we had that and why we don't. And hopefully we'll be earning that back here pretty soon. But what's the, once you're gone and traveling, what's the amount of time you spend? What do you spend doing with both Airbnb and Vrbo?
Well, I guess it depends on how often you receive notifications for bookings. Once I receive a notification, then I go to the other site, block that out. I put on my calendar and email our friend that cleans to let them know, that's the day, that there's days that somebody's going to be in here that they need to clean. I'll put a note if they have a dog, just so they can make sure that they check the backyard, because nobody wants to come in after somebody's been here with a dog and dog poop all over the backyard. But that's really it. You just wait for the notifications to come in and notify the people that you need to make sure that it's done and ready to go.
And there's been a couple of times where you've got a message and we've had to kind of pull over if you were driving, if I was driving.
Right. Some people will ask questions and I like to be as helpful as possible as far as they would like to know how far it is away from something, recommendations for the area. I try to have the majority of the questions answered on there. As far as a lot of it will be, what's the parking? Because in the city, since we don't have a garage listed, it's street parking. It's right in front of our house, and typically it's not a problem. So they'll ask about that. They'll ask about, is it safe?
Because it's St. Louis.
Yeah, I get it, but it's a very safe neighborhood. So sometimes if there's just a lot of communication, it's all through the app and it's really easy. Other times it's just an instant booking. They'll put a little note that says, can't wait to get there, and that's it. And then I just kind of check to make sure the day that they check in that everything went okay and go from there.
And they can actually ask for special, like if you discount, ask for special deals and stuff like that. You can negotiate with them.
If we, if it's over a certain amount of time, and to be honest, I prefer the shorter visits, just because I like to know that I have somebody coming in to check to make sure our house is still in one piece. but we've also got an awesome friend that does the lawn service as well as, any maintenance or if there's any problem with the tenant that's in here, they come over and help them out. So.
Did you talk at all about managing the bookings on both sites, about having to go block the dates out?
Yeah, I said as soon as I get one notification, I go to the other site and block those days out. Because with Airbnb, I found out the first year you get it what they call super host, and that's where your rating is like 4.8% or 4.8 out of a 5-star rating.
You have to have 10 rentals.
10 rentals, you have to have 0 cancellations. And there was a problem where somebody,
I earned the
super host, which bumps you up, on the search results. And I apparently forgot to block it out on VRBO. I'm sorry, I forgot to block it out on Airbnb. And VRBO had booked it. And then somebody on Airbnb booked it, and I had to cancel theirs. And I instantly got my super host taken away.
And then what happened with the actual?
You have to wait for and then
the other one's canceled.
A month later, I think it was, because it was several months out. So I didn't really feel that was fair because it was 4 or 5 months away. But anyway, that person canceled, and I got my super host taken away for a year.
Yeah, and you're supposed to be getting it back any time now. So that could have been one of the reasons why Airbnb has kind of declined a little bit and VRBO. But as far as usability,
but now I have, I guess, similar on VRBO where I'm up on the ranks because of the listings.
But as far as the two sites, really, you don't have a big preference, do you? As far as the do you have a preference?
I have a preference on the people on VRBO.
Well, yeah. Okay.
So far, the people on VRBO, everybody's been 5 stars. Airbnb, I had a couple that were just.
We had one that rated us lower, like 3 or 4 stars.
Rated me low because of the price, even though she knew what the price was.
Well, that was
one.
And
it was a holiday weekend.
But the other one that was a little bit unique was we've left our house pretty much as is, except for the places
we have pictures of our family up because it's still my house. When I'm home, I'm not going to get all the pictures back out. And so she kind of complained that she didn't like it because it was too personal, where literally everybody else has said they love the fact that when they come in, they feel like they're at a family's house.
Yeah. So you're just going to have some people.
So be it,
But all in all, I think the sites are fairly comparable as far as the results that we receive for the most part.
Right.
All over the whole 18 months. Both of them, you can change the prices. So you can set higher prices on holidays. You can also determine, a minimum stay, 2 nights or 3 nights or a week if you want to.
Yeah, we have a minimum stay of 2.
Yeah. So, and we thought maybe if we made it 2 nights, we were just going to get weekends and nobody would be in it during the week. But we've had weekend stays, and then as soon as it gets close to the date, if it doesn't book ahead of time, somebody will come in and book it up for that week, Monday through Thursday or whatever.
Yeah.
And then in some cases, we get last minute rentals if it happens to be open. And you haven't lowered the price or anything, have you? Like to try to rent it?
No,
because you can do that. So you could rent it at a high price, and then when it gets 2 weeks away, you could lower the price and see if you could get it. But we haven't had to do that, and it literally gets rented. And we actually have, I don't know what, almost 4 months fully booked for next year already. One person booked
3
2 and a half months out ahead, and somebody booked, I think this year's Christmas was booked after they stayed here last year, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So some people come and stay, and then they immediately book, later.
Yeah, we have several repeat renters, which is great.
And so I saw the Blue Wave Odyssey about ordinances. Yeah. So we knew St. Louis didn't have any ordinances. There was talk about it, but there's no ordinances. But to your point, how do you police it? How does the government police those types of things? I know there's litigation in some states of Airbnb has to provide a list to the local government of the addresses that are doing that. So, bottom line is we're not experts. If you're in an area, definitely want to check in and make your own decision on how you treat that and get all your tax stuff in understood for what you're going to do there. So the other thing about ongoing work required. So we do have, as Chris mentioned, one of the things, if we're going to be traveling and not here, whenever there's a turnover, because we actually have people that check out on a day, and the same day at 3 p.m. somebody else
They
is
check
checking
out
back
at
in.
11 a.m. and somebody checks in at 3 p.m. So sometimes it's a pretty quick turnaround.
Yep. So we've got, we had a friend that was already doing our lawn, was already doing our lawn care for us. It's actually been a friend for over 10 years. And he works for the police department, and he bought a lawn care business on the side. And we were one of the first people that signed up as a new customer for him after this new lawn care business. And so we just mentioned to him, he has his wife was stay at home, and she helped him with the lawn care business. And we just mentioned, would Dee, your wife, be interested in doing the turnovers? And he said, well, we've actually been talking about that. So we quoted him a price, which is a little bit less than what we charge for every cleaning fee, because you get to charge a cleaning fee. You charge a cleaning fee if you want. And so our cleaning fee is covered by what we do that. And so the nice thing is they only live a short period away. And so he does our lawn care, they do our cleaning, and they do our maintenance. So we've had times where, the pilot light wasn't lit, or we had a smoke detector on the second floor that's locked out, going off when somebody came here. And he was literally here in less than a half an hour, usually less than 5 or 10 minutes to resolve the issue. And then he just sends us a bill every month automatically online, and we pay it automatically. And it's been priceless for us. Yes. So, I know everybody isn't going to have that option. Right. There are property management options for doing that. But I mean, if you can find somebody like that lives in your neighborhood that has somebody that's, maybe stay at home or wants to take a business on the side that's trustworthy, you might consider. And how do you keep that all in sync? So they know when the checkouts are, they know when they're going to do, not the maintenance and the lawn care, because that's all separately, but just the cleanup turnovers.
Well, we do we use Google Calendar. And so then I just include him, or them, I should say. Whenever there's a booking, I'll let them know when that person is checking in, when they're checking out. And like I said before, that if they have a dog, to make sure you check the yard. And it's pretty easy. We will kind of get together every once in a while just to make sure, if I haven't, heard anything from him, just to make sure that he received, especially like a new one that is checking in the next day. And I just want to make sure that he got the notification. I think we have just had that happen one time where he didn't get the,
but he was over here quick. They left and went to the zoo, and he was over here.
He stopped what he was doing, came over because the person was here. And what it was is let's say a Friday, they made reservations, they booked it for the next day, Saturday, and he somehow didn't get that notification. So, he stopped what he was doing, and they came and got it clean, and the people were very understanding. So it's all worked out for us.
Hello, Missouri travelers. You guys are Central Missouri or KC, if I remember correctly. I think Central Missouri, right? So we've got Poplar Bluff, Central Missouri. We also have some friends that aren't on here, Galleon, that are actually in KC. So quite a few Missouri traveling buddies that we've met on YouTube. So welcome. We're about a little over halfway through. We got a few more questions to cover here. And if you have any questions or feedback, we're happy to address them. So let's talk about probably the most the most common or most debated question is damage or the negative side of things. Because when we were first looking into this, or when you see the RV on the Facebook pages, whether it's an RV page or whatever, you see this question come up: what should I do with my house? Anybody that talks about renting their house, you'll have just dozens of comments that are, basically sometimes not very nice, telling people they're stupid if they do it. Your house is going to be destroyed. You might as well set it on fire. I mean, just really opinionated responses. And I had a rental property years ago, and there was some damage, but it was actually wear and tear just for the year that somebody was there, and I had to do some repairs. I didn't have anybody really intentionally damage the home. But like I said earlier, we didn't want to do long-term just because that's too long of a period to not be on our home to see if something was done. And so we tried Airbnb, and we knew we were protected, but we have not had to use the protection once.
No.
We haven't had any intentional damage. We have a few wear and tear things that happen. We did have the basement door window cracked when somebody tried to close it, but it was really hard.
Panels,
yeah, it was really hard to close.
It's an original door, and this is a 1940s house.
Home.
So
and so she
and they offered to pay for it,
yeah.
and I was like, no, it wasn't on them at all.
And then when we got home this time, the back lock was broke, so we had to replace the bolt lock. But we could just.
But that was a really old one too, so you know.
I guess the worst thing you had that was the oven one time, not the oven, but the stovetop grill. Somebody, I think it's a grill. It's a griddle. It's a griddle. I think somebody thought it was a deep fryer or something. There was so much.
I've never seen so much grease on that poor thing, and the vents up at the top. I had to take them out. They were literally dripping with grease. I couldn't believe it. So. That took a while to clean, and that was actually before we had Phil and Dee cleaning, right?
Yeah.
Because while we were still here, I was doing the cleaning.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So yeah, that was a big job.
So our experience, 18 months, almost no damage, probably less than $50 of just wear and tear that we've had to do as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
So all of those horror stories, it hasn't come true for us. See you, Blue Wave.
Bye. Thanks for stopping in.
Thank you so much. So, Mark, I see what day are we going to be planning on going through there? She's the navigator.
And besides, it's like
so I would love to see you.
It's like he doesn't know me. It's Mai Tais, not beer, man.
Yeah, it's something rum influenced.
Coconut rum influenced.
Or just straight orange
I don't know.
juice.
I'll give you the date. It's 11 hours and 9 minutes from us.
To his place?
I looked.
Look at that.
No. Oh, wait. No. Horrible. Sorry.
All right. Anyway, it sounds like you're in the plans. So
I'll make it.
That's awesome. Thanks, Blue Wave. We'll catch you next time. Okay, so we got a few more questions to go here. So let's talk about the income that we've received so far. So we're averaging in 18 months probably between $3,000 and $4,000 of revenue a month. And so last time I checked was right at the year point, and we were I think we were around $36,000 or something like that. So right at $3,000 average for the first year. But we've raised the prices considerably since then. I haven't really checked. So I would guess we're probably around $52,000 in income for 18 months, 50,000 somewhere there. So it's definitely paying way more than the mortgage. It's also paying way more than the expenses to keep the house going on. And so it is definitely profitable to support us if we needed it to be, if I didn't have a job. So it's kind of nice having that safety net there if something happened. And what I'm planning to do starting January 1 is we're going to keep track of all of the revenue from the Airbnb, and we're also going to keep track of all the expenses specifically for that, so we can see exactly the profitability. So you could see how much you could have potentially in this market. You got to keep in mind we're in St. Louis market, so $3,000 a month might not sound a lot if you're in California or somewhere on the West Coast, or maybe New York area and some of those areas. But for this area, the average home price is probably around $190 to $240 on this block. Oh, on this block. Probably. Yeah. Our home is probably more $300 to $340 because of the remodel that we did. It was about $100,000 remodel, so it was nice. So we're very happy with the results, and we're going to continue doing it, and we may even add another property at some point to further implement that, enhance that. Preferably in Hawaii. Yep. Yeah, well, we talk about getting one in Hawaii too. So when we go to Hawaii, we've got a place to stay over there. So here is so proven. I would definitely do one here, but we might look in Hawaii as well. So how do we handle pets? So we have pets in here ourselves. So when you can say no pets if you want to. But if you choose to want to allow pets, you can set a pet fee, right?
Right. It's a non-refundable. I mean, you can charge whatever you want. Ours is just a set fee. It's not based on the size of your animal, because to me, it doesn't matter how big they are. They can, even the little ones can do a lot of damage. The only thing that we've had is the one person with the little dog, I guess, peed on the corner of our sofa cover, which the reason why we have this sofa is because it has a cover that comes off and can be washed, and we've got 2 of them. So if that happens, then
thank you, IKEA.
Slap the other one on and, good to go. But that really is the only thing. They're usually pretty good about picking up the backyard. Everybody, of course, says their dog is well behaved, and I don't think they'd tell me if they weren't, but it's proven to be true. We haven't had any problems with them, and nobody argues at all about having to pay the pet fee. So it's pretty easy.
It's awesome. So basically, overall summary, we would definitely do Airbnb and Vrbo again. It's allowed us to have the comfortable confidence to take on this lifestyle. So it's been nice. And I think it's about time. We'll take any questions. We'll stay on here for a little while, see if you have questions. But if you're interested in the giveaway, if you could type aloha in your comments, we're basically going to assign you a number. And then Chris has got a nifty little app, and she'll basically just get a random number generator here. And we will give away that heated 20-foot hose that you can use on your RV if you're camping in a cold weather area. If you don't need that, then we can substitute a $25 Amazon gift card. So if you're interested in winning either one of those, please type in aloha. Hello, Fortunate Adventures. Hello, Camper Life. Good to see you guys. We're about ready to wrap up here. All right, so we see RV Underwear, you're number 1. Camper Life, you're number 2. Mark, you should get in anyway. You need to have an RV. Aaron, we see you're in your number 3. Fortunate Adventures is number 4. Mark, you spelled aloha wrong. Hawaiian, not Spanish. Dyslexic. We are drinking Chris's famous Maui Mai Tais. So we're actually going to do a recipe video on this soon. Because we it starts with pineapple orange.
Yes,
pineapple orange juice is one of the keys, not just straight orange juice. If you want a Hawaii style Mai Tai,
not a mainland.
No, if you get the mainland, Mark, you're number 5. If you get a mainland Mai Tai, and most we've tried, trust me, we've tried them. We've tried them at Thai restaurants. We've tried them at bars, and they just do not taste very good. We've thrown away many Mai Tais here in the mainland. But if you go to Hawaii,
Hawaiians are good too.
They're very, very good over there. And we actually got a recipe from Cheeseburger, what is it called? Just Cheeseburger Restaurant, or
no, it's something else.
I can't remember. Cheeseburger Island Cheeseburger, something like that.
Right.
There's a restaurant in Walea that we had a waitress that was actually from the St. Louis area, and we went there quite often, and she gave us the recipe.
Mark.
Yep, she gave us the recipe. So we've got, it looks like 5 people. Anybody else here want to participate in the giveaway? Just say aloha. So I think we've got 6 people online that says, so if the 6th person wants to contribute, just go ahead and say aloha, and then we'll do this drawing here in just a second. Okay, Missouri Travelers, you are number 6. All right, so it looks like we got 6, Chris, if you want to do the giveaway. Again, the giveaway is it's a heated RV hose, about 20 feet long. to keep your rig from freezing. And if you don't want this, don't have a need for this, we will. I got thrown off by the Sloha. How much have you been drinking, Missouri travelers? RV Underway wants to know, Sloha. All right, so we've got, I'll go back down and tell you your number one more time. We've got Camper Life, or actually RV Underway is number 1, Camper Life number 2, Aaron Jameson's number 3, Fortunate Adventures 4, Mark Henderson is 5, and Missouri Travelers is 6. So she's going to give a random number generator here that she's got on
Did you
there.
say Aaron's 3?
Yes.
Okay. 5.
5. So that would be.
This thing's horrible.
That would be Mark. You didn't want to play. All right. So, Mark,
This is rigged.
if I assume you want the
Jameson.
I assume you want the gift card. If somebody wants the hose, we are going to donate it anyway. So if you would like to email us, if you truly, truly, really would like the hose and you weren't going to opt for the Amazon gift card, email us.
What's a gift card?
Oh, you do want it, Mark?
Hey, we could deliver it to you.
Yes, we can personally deliver it to
We'll
you.
bring it to you.
All right. So
She didn't even
are there
say
any
the
questions around Airbnb,
Mark said,
full-time
Yeah.
travel, YouTube creation, anything like that before we call it a night? You're
There you
exactly
go.
right. He needs to get an RV and travel with us. So a lot of you are new friends. Mark's an old friend, and we did use an absolute random number
you
generator.
really did.
Uh,
I wouldn't have picked him on purpose.
Yeah, but you can never, ever, ever win again. So no matter what we give away, you can't win again. So we'll help you. You should come to Tampa and we'll help you pick out an RV and we can meet Blue Wave Odyssey
There you go.
in
We can
person as
help
well. Yeah. Well, we had no idea how to buy one either. So we started
Small
small. We got a 26
and
foot
inexpensive.
with no slides. It was $12,000. Bought it
Yeah.
we bought it on eBay. We drove 4 miles to pick it up.
4 hours.
4 hours, not 4 miles. 4 hours to Iowa to pick it up.
There you
And
go.
hey, Camper Life will be in Tampa too. Okay, so we need to connect with Camper
I'm
Life.
not going to that show.
We should.
No,
Why?
because
We can take down
we'll
the
end
meeting
up
with
with
us.
a noose.
No, we won't.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
No, we won't. We're
All
happy
right.
with our RV. We've got a
We'll
new Mar
meet-
Canyon Star.
We'll meet outside of the.
She
I'm not going in there.
She likes to shop.
It'll be bad.
All right, guys. Well, we really appreciate you participating in our first live chat. We're gonna plan to do a live chat once a month for our real-time updates. We're stuck right now within our
A 75
About 4 months
diesel
behind.
pusher? Really?
we're about
Those
4
are so
months behind
cheap.
our content. We're going through our Colorado adventure. Then we'll move into our Pacific Northwest adventures. We hope to have all of that content caught up by Christmas, and then we'll be off to Florida for some new adventures. So we would love to do some meetups. You can send us email at
There's a lot of people going to
pauseeffect.com.
that. Sure.
So that's contact us at pause, PAWZEFFECT.com. If you have any questions or you just want to stay in touch or maybe arrange a meetup with us at some point, feel free to email us. We'd love to meet you all in person. And until next time, aloha. We'll just, what are you answering?
Mark.
Oh, okay. We're in the Pacific Northwest. Hey, Dean, thanks for jumping on. You just missed the giveaway. Thanks for joining. What was I going to say? Oh, Pacific Northwest. We actually went up through Montana. We stopped a while at Quincy, Washington on our way out there, and then we went to Seattle. We spent some time in Seattle. Chris's dad lives in Washougal, which is outside of Vancouver, Washington. We spent a few weeks there, and then we cruised down from there to San Diego. We didn't get to spend much time on the drive because I had a business meeting I needed to get to. But we will be going back up there again next summer and taking the grandkids with us. So
Nice.
we love Seattle as well.
Go Hawks.
Yeah, go Hawks. All right, guys. Until next time.
Aloha.
Aloha. There you go.